All right, what's up, y'all? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone. How about this day? I'd imagine this show might be a little lively today. So let me hit the share button here, y'all. We will talk about what I think everybody's talking about today, y'all. Presented by Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix. Lots of quarterback talk today. Drew's here. You'll be fired up about that, so be grabbing the tripod. Yeah, you will. Hey, Mary, good morning. Lauren Anderson, good morning. Wesley Boudreaux. Stop that. That didn't take long. Carl Dunn, Adam Tower, Chad Chenevert. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. John Capone, Derek Hudnall, Brett Villar, Scott Luminous? Patty Kutcher, Travis McGraw. Good morning, y'all. Blake, Andrew LaFleur. Good morning. Good to see everybody there. Brian Wampole. Drew's about to grab that thing in. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, bud. Don't you do it. No. You crazy kid. You crazy kid. Crazy kid. All right. Bobby says, I was waiting for this live today. Good morning, Matt and Drew. Good morning. Matthew, you called it. He gone. Lindsay Anders, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Marcus Meyer, good morning. Jason Gonzalez. Joey Painich, good morning. Trivia, you already know what needs to be said. What needs to be said, Trivia? Brian Wampole, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Bob Kubrick. Bob asked right at the shoot, will Lowell have to sit a year? My guess is Lowell is going to do exactly what... And Mary, you stop provoking him. Lowell's going to do exactly what Lindsey Scott did last year. He's going to go JUCO. He's going to tear up junior college somewhere, and then be able to pick his spot after. That allowed him to get on the field. I mean, keep in mind, Lowell missed basically all of his junior year except the playoffs, and then missed all of his no. They missed Drew, come on, baby. They missed all of his senior year. And then redshirted last year. So Lowell hasn't played a season of football in hat. You do have a hat. Very good. Daddy will wear it. Thank you. Daddy will wear the hat. Can't hand me the hat. So Lowell hasn't played a season of football since his sophomore year in high school. So I don't blame him for going JUCO and saying, let me just get on the field and go play. Drew, stop it, baby. Okay, that's funny. It's not funny. Stop. Okay. Stop it, baby. No. Stop. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, all right. Let's see. We're built up a little bit here. Let's go ahead and get started. I was just waiting for that audience to build a little. Okay, so all right, let's see. All right, we'll get y'all's comments, questions, all the good stuff if y'all wanna load up. Petey said Mississippi Gulf Coast College. He was just on off the bench. I heard him, and they asked him specifically about Mississippi Gulf Coast, and he was non-committal about that. If that's where he goes, fine. Either way, it's like Lindsey Scott showed you last year. Literally to the day. Yesterday was the day Lindsey Scott announced his transfer, 1 year to the day, and Lowell announced it. So a quick catch-up. No, Drew, come on, baby. All right, look, we're going to stop. We're not going to keep grabbing the tripod, okay, baby? We're not going to keep doing that. All right? We're not going to do that, okay? Okay, come see. Go see Mickey. All right. All right, a couple of things. Yesterday, let's just go chronologically, okay? So let's go back and start with yesterday with Lowell and McMillan being absent from practice, okay? Lowell also just said on off the bench, I heard him, that he told the coaches on Monday after practice his intent to transfer. So yesterday I'd actually gotten a call earlier in the day that both Lowell and Justin were going to miss practice. Kind of contemplating their futures. And so I was waiting. I was sitting there on the show at about 4:30, like refreshing Twitter, like somebody tweeted, like knowing they weren't going to be there. So it's not a surprise. I think McMillan, to me, was the foregone conclusion all along that was going to go. He graduated. He's eligible immediately. He wasn't going to start. Told you all along Joe Burrow was going to start. It's not even been something that they've tried to keep a secret in different conversations. Hey, bud. I think they were hoping Carr. I think they were hoping they could convince Lowell to stay, and entice him with some sort of package, wildcat deal, something like that. Let it goal line, whatever. A package to play, and I believe Lowell was going to be on the field, especially as much as they need running threats in this offense. Lowell was going to play, but kid wants to play quarterback, and he doesn't want to be a gimmick guy, a slash type player. So he's going to go somewhere where he can play, and good luck to him. I have two main points. I wrote a column last night. It's published now at Gridiron Now. If you want to go, read it. You got a block, bud. My point all along has been. If Joe Burrow was your guy, and this was an inevitability, which I think we all knew this was an inevitability. Okay, like Joe Burrow was going to be the starter. I've said, peekaboo. We said it all along. Like Joe Burrow was going to be the starter. You didn't bring him here to sit. If you felt good about your other guys coming out of spring, you wouldn't have felt the need to go get Burrow. Like Joe Burrow is going to be the starter. You can say what you want. You can say it's a quarterback competition. You could say they're all competing evenly. It's a charade. Like, we all know Joe Burrow is going to be the starting quarterback. That's so easy to see. Everyone can see it. Wah. Okay. Mwah. Mwah. So we knew Joe Burrow was going to be the starting quarterback. So every day that they have spent with this charade, this quarterback rotation, you have wasted opportunities to get Joe Burrow reps with the starters. You have wasted opportunities to give him reps at the quarterback center exchange. You've wasted opportunities to get him reps running timing routes with his receivers. You've wasted reps and opportunities for him to command the huddle. You've wasted reps and opportunity for him to get his timing down with running backs. And if you had a manageable September, like if you had Mississippi State September or Arkansas's September schedule, like it would be manageable because you could have some hiccups and some growing pains throughout that first month of the season and still win, but and hone your skills a little bit and then hit the ground running in October. The problem is you're right out the chute against Miami, and then 2 weeks later you're at Auburn. And remember, Miami was third in the country last year with 31 takeaways. Turnover chain, all that stuff. If you don't have quarterback center exchange down, if your timing with receivers is off and you have tip balls up into the air, like that's how you start turning the ball over, and that's how you give away a game to a team like Miami. That's why all these reps are important. And it's why like this competition which has been a farce all along. Ed was playing a dangerous game with this. He was trying to keep four guys happy, which is not possible, instead of just going with the guy that everybody knows is going to play and saying, here's our guy, commit and go. Either way, you've put yourself, numbers-wise, in a precarious situation, which we can talk about as well, because now they're down to 3 scholarship quarterbacks, and presumably McMillan's going to go as well, which will leave you with 2 scholarship quarterbacks and 2 walk-ons as a backup. Yeah. Peekaboo. Now, the other side of this with the numbers is, the obvious part is, like, this is what happens, the situation you're in is what happens when you don't sign a quarterback in a class, when you don't sign a high school quarterback in a class, a prospect. It affects your depth. You can have a stopgap, which LSU's done with Danny Etling, which they did previously with Mettenberger, which they did now with Joe Burrow. Hey, bud. Peekaboo. You can have a stopgap, and you can have someone like Burrow that you hope fills the gap. But now if anything happens, you're in a world of hurt because you didn't sign a quarterback in the 2018 class. If you had a freshman coming in this class, Narcisse leaving wouldn't be as big of a deal because you would still have another scholarship quarterback behind him, a young guy, but a guy who would have played just as much as Lowell has. So it's just it's like it's one mistake managing a roster after another, and like it can't be minimized. When you're going through a recruiting class, like we talked about this on signing day, peekaboo. We talked about this on signing day. They committed a kicker, a scholarship, to a 1-year place kicker. Like, think about how, in context now, think about how precious roster spots are when you're hard capped at 25 scholarships. You gave a scholarship to Cole Tracy. You gave a spot in your class to Cole Tracy. A 1-year grad transfer kicker. A stopgap. You got him for 1 year. But because you committed that scholarship to that kicker, you didn't have a scholarship for Mario Goodrich when he wanted to sign. And you got short and you ended up having to pinch numbers because you thought you were going to get Surtain, you didn't get Goodrich, and you wanted to keep a spot for Foster, the quarterback, who you didn't sign as well. Like, I know, I haven't even read the comments yet, and I'm going to get to it. I know there's going to be some, it's like, why the doom and gloom because the 4th-string quarterback left? And it's not doom and gloom because the 4th-string quarterback left in the immediacy. It's, you've wasted an opportunity to give yourself the best chance to win week 1. You've I shouldn't say wasted, but because you can still win that game. Peekaboo. But you've put yourself at a disadvantage by not getting Joe Burrow reps with the ones at this point. And you've also, because of past mistakes, it's now hindered your depth at that position and your opportunity going forward. And that's, I think that's not even debatable at this point. So I know a lot of you are going to, I'll run through some of these comments. I know a lot of you are going to ask about, a lot of y'all are going to ask about, excuse me. Okay, let's go back. I know a lot of y'all are going to ask about McMillan. My guess is McMillan's going to go. It's just, it's kind of the nature of it. He didn't show up at practice the day after, the day after the scrimmage. I think it tells you kind of, what's what. All right, anyway, let's get to some of your comments stuff here. I'll do my best to get to as many of them as possible. All right, trivia, another dual threat that gives every team in the SC problem is gone. Bama has 2 or 3. Wait, hang on. Why are all these rotating off? Sorry, y'all. I messed something up here. I don't know where all the comments are going. Anyway, I think some are scrolling off. So, see the ridiculousness that's happening behind me? All right. Steven, Matt, who's the starter? It's Joe Burrow. Sam, we want depth for sure. But when was the... Ma. D. Drew, stop it, baby. Abilities. Mimi's going to come and take you to abilities. Hey, why don't you go watch Mickey Mouse, okay? Why don't you go watch Mickey Mouse? I know, abilities. Mimi's going to take you to abilities. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying here. All right. All right. All right. Why are all these rotate? I think my comments are going in reverse order. I don't know what's up with that. Or they're scrolling off altogether. I don't know where all the comments are. Anyway, all right. I'm just going to start going in order as I see them, y'all. I was trying to go chronologically from how it started, but they're all like rotating off. So my apologies for that. Let's see. Sacrifice Lowell to get Burrow, right? I don't know that I would say that definitively. Yeah, I think he really thought that he'd keep Lowell. I think McMillan is the guy all along that they knew was going to go as a 4th-year player. I think they had really hoped that they could keep Narcisse in the boat because he's younger. but he's doing exactly what Lindsey Scott did, which is a smart play for him personally. Go JUCO, play, and then, after that, pick your spot. Evaluate it for a year, pick your spot. Sam Dixon says, why would you wish for the program to be hurt? Didn't wish for the program to be hurt. I don't know if you're talking about me or somebody else who made a comment. Petey said Lowell just gave a very classy interview. He did. I heard him on Jordy and T-Bob. I thought he did a great job, and I wish him well. And something else I think sometimes people forget. Lowell tore both ACLs in high school, and when he was a junior, in January of his junior year, his dad died of cancer at 47 years old. So one of the things that was certainly keeping Lowell close to home was being near his mom. And, I guess at this point, he's at a point, they're at a point with their family where they're okay with him, doing what's best for him. Abilities. Mimi's going to take you to abilities today. Yep. Cole says he saw the different type of offense coming to LSU, wanted to get a school that plays an RPO quarterback. I agree with that. I mean, I think it's obvious if they're running a certain style of offense that doesn't fit Lowell's skill set. It's why, you can look at the 4 guys on campus with Burrow, McMillan, Brennan, Narcisse. If it's a multiple choice and the question is which doesn't fit, the answer is Narcisse. So if you're not going to build an offense to fit Narcisse, then he's the odd man out. Let's see. Absolutely love how much you show love for your boy. Oh, thank you, Cindy. He's coming in here fussing. Let's see. Alvin, good morning. Hey, Drew. Let's see. Come see. Wasted opportunities installing the packages for Narcisse too. I wouldn't say entirely, because if they can find someone else in the offense to do that, to run those packages, maybe not. But hey, baby, Lily, yay for Drew. What? You tell me. You want to come see me? Somebody got up at 5:09 a.m. today. That dude, 5:09 a.m. So I'm like 4 cups of coffee in already. Not dragging at all. But Stephen, to your point, yes, every rep they've invested in anyone that would have otherwise gone to Joe Burrow is a waste at this point. It is. Because this is something that literally everybody has known and has talked about since Joe Burrow signed, that he's going to be the starting quarterback. And it's something that LSU, they're not even hiding, except whenever they speak in front of the players or cameras. Anyway. All right, let's see. Free Fulton save Kikaha by Narcisse. Mark, I don't know why you're so big on Haole Kikaha, man. Dude's just not a good player. Tammy says, so sophomore red shirt for Brennan is off the table. Not entirely, because I'll put it to you this. Brennan can play 4 games and still redshirt. Remember the new redshirt rules? You can play 4 games and still redshirt. So my guess is Burrow's the starter. You can get Brennan spot duty in 4 games if you need it, and you can hopefully maintain his redshirt year if Burrow stays healthy and plays the whole season. Things get sticky when things will get sticky this year if and when Burrow turns an ankle. Because if Burrow turns an ankle, then your backups are Andre Sale and Jordan Loving. Sale's the Tennessee Tech transfer. He got a waiver to be eligible this year, and Loving is the freshman from Riverside. Steven, Coach O got to go. I'll leave it to. See how they do this year. Golly, these are scrolling off so fast. And does anybody know how to stop the comments from scrolling off? Because I can't go back and read them. Matthew, doggone. I'm trying to read them and they're disappearing. They're scrolling off. So, sorry y'all. Miles screwed up on the board. O's trying to manage it. Ed didn't sign a quarterback this year. That's not his problem. And Ed essentially gave him Danny Etling, who was a starter a year ago, and the guys that were battling for the starting job this year. Like, how can you say that Les screwed up the board? Ed didn't sign a quarterback this year. If you had signed a freshman and not gotten Burrow, all of these guys are still in place. I just got to scroll down. These are all going too fast. LSU was patient with Lowell. He was patient with LSU. Look, I agree. Like, I don't blame, to be very clear, like, I don't blame Lowell Narcisse for leaving at all. Like, not one bit. Do what's best for you. And I wish that kid really, really well. But for anyone who thinks that this is a surprise, that's my problem. That's short-sighted. Because, like, these Lowell and McMillan were considering transferring in the spring, and they convinced him to stay to this point. But you saw this happen with Lindsey Scott a year ago. Went through the first week of fall camp, saw like the writing on the wall, how the reps were going, and said, this, like, I'm never going to get my shake here, and decided to cut bait sooner rather than later. Like, it's not a surprise. Like, that's my problem with this, is anyone who's surprised by this. And it certainly better not be anybody at Football Ops. Steven says Narcisse was the best option point blank. You can't say Narcisse was the best option point blank because the guy hasn't played football in 3 years. So there's no, and I've seen Lowell throw, big arm but wildly inaccurate. Like, I think he's a raw guy that still needs some refinement. So could you have built an offense around him? Sure, but to say flatly that he's the best guy point blank, I think that's short-sighted. Golly. God, these are going so. God, comments are going fast. Is there a fire at LSU? Hot seat for O is getting warm. Let's see how they do it in the first 3 weeks. Matt, what will it take to end LSU's multiple decades mismanagement of quarterbacks? It will take one guy. It's not blowing the whole thing up. It will take one guy to be a 3-year starter. If you can get one guy, if you can get an A.J. McCarron who can come hold down your position for 3 years and let you build depth behind it and stabilize the roster, that's what you need. Instead of like stopgap, grad transfer, young guy, figure it out, dual threat, 2 system. You need one guy that can just be your guy for 3 years. And I was hoping that, if Brennan could emerge into that and be that guy for 3 years, that'd be it. But here you go. Tammy wants to watch the works burn. That was about another. Oh, I got you, Sam. Mark, I don't know if Narcisse is going to go to Tulane, man. If he goes and blows up in junior college this year, he'll be able to pick a spot where he wants to go play. All right. Was Leonard Fournette a pawn just to keep Leonard happy? I mean, I don't know what brought up Leonard Fournette, but I mean, yeah, kind of obvious. John says, bottom line is LSU can't afford to have the best option on the field anymore. We're at the cusp of mediocrity with potential to be dominant again. I watched 2011 Bama 2 nights ago. The whole team went pro both sides of the ball. That's where we need to be. Yeah, that's where they need to be. I don't think they're close to that, though. And I don't think Ed gets them back to that point. That's been my point all along. But I'd say you're dangerously close to becoming what Tennessee is, and not just because of Narcisse. I just mean the program as a whole. I'll try to stay on topic. McMillan graduating shows he was going all along. They wanted Narcisse. I just feel with 2 guys coming in next year, you'll be fine. Did you hear anything on Miles? Is he contemplate transfer? No, Brennan's not transferring, and they got one guy coming in next year, Peter Parrish. And then TJ Finley's committed for 2020. Stephen Miller, been a roller coaster preseason camp so far. It's been a roller coaster 3 years, bro. With the loss of 1, potentially 2 of your quarterbacks, I'd like to see LSU offer a 4-star to Warren East and Lance Lejeune. Maybe. But they got Peter Parrish committed, so my guess is that's where they're sticking. Haven't we been assuming at least 1 is going to jump all summer, maybe 2? The biggest shocker is that Lowell was the initial guy to jump. I'll say it again. I'm surprised Lowell didn't transfer after spring. Very surprised. I'm surprised he made it this long. Fans going to have to push the program through a rough season this year. Can you say 40,000 empty seats come November? Well, they'll have the Bama game in November. And look, can we just be clear? Like, I want to be very clear. Lowell Narcisse transferring has not changed my outlook on the LSU season at all. What it's done, though, is absolutely gutted your depth. If McMillan leaves as well, then you're in a super precarious position. But if Joe Burrow remains upright and is the guy that they hope he'll be, then nothing for this season has changed. It's how you construct your roster and your recruiting classes moving forward now that's undeniably impacted. Will Coach O still have 4 quarterbacks scrimmage with the Tennessee Tech transfer? My guess is now they narrow down those reps to Joe Burrow. Damn, Dixon, they need a headline to write about. It's preseason. I don't know what that means. Championship quarterbacks have championship teams have mobile quarterbacks that can make routine throws to playmakers. Hopefully, we're not giving someone a championship quarterback. Good luck, Lowell. The problem is Lowell hasn't been able to make routine throws. That is his issue. Is his accuracy. Point blank, that's his issue. But I hope his knee is right and he goes JUCO, does great, and then gets an opportunity somewhere else to be awesome. But it is frustrating when you can watch Auburn take a converted cornerback in Nick Marshall with a noodle for an arm and go play for a national championship. It is frustrating. Steve Rice, Southeastern Tech should easily get Brennan action in these games and still be able to use the red shirt. Yeah, the tough part is, what if, do you run him out there against Southeastern? What if Burrow turns an ankle and you have to play Brennan, against Georgia, say. Again, it's a bouncing app. What's your go to LSU's return game this year? Giles and Clyde were returning punts in the scrimmage, and I don't know who's returning kickoffs. I'd put Drake Davis back there for me. He's a freak show, and I let him run. Drake and Clyde, those would be my 2 guys. But if Clyde is your number 1 running back, then you're not going to put him back there to return kicks. Matt, you're mismanaging your Facebook video. I blame my kid. Tammy says this is not on Les Miles. The previous decade was on Les Miles. This is not on Les Miles. Why did you hit Daddy's phone? What's that camera? Peter Parrish is a big grab all of a sudden. Look, they need a scholarship quarterback in this class. There's no doubt, and we'll see. The odd thing is that Parrish, though, it reminds you of Lowell, physically. So that dual threat guy. Coach O has destroyed the quarterback room in epic Rich Rod fashion. I believe transparency is so important. And Drew, hey baby, hang on. Hey, stop. No, stop. What are you doing? You crazy? Hey, Daddy's trying to do his TV show, okay? Can you go watch Mickey? Huh? It's okay. You don't have to be upset about it. Hey, you don't have to be upset, okay? It's okay. Daddy's trying to do his TV show. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Not gonna do like that, sorry. Do you think this begins the dumpster fire or poop show? No, again, I'll keep saying this. The same thing I've said over and over today. The Lowell Narcisse news does not change my outlook on this LSU season. I anticipated Lowell and or McMillan would be leaving anyway. It's all about keeping Burrow upright. My problem is this was inevitable all along, and you weren't giving Burrow reps, and so I think you've compromised your opportunity to have him at his max ability against Miami. That's my problem. And then moving forward, you obviously have a numbers issue at quarterback now. That's going to get even more grave when McMillan announces he's leaving too. If you don't get Burrow, does Lowell leave? Probably not. I'll go back and say it again. I'm very surprised Lowell didn't leave after spring and Burrow wasn't here during spring. So I think Narcisse would have left anyway. Just my thought. The writing has been on the wall. What's funny is people thinking it's been a wide open camp or competition. I don't know how many people honestly. I would love to know how many people honestly believed that this was an open competition, which it's not. I mean, it's Joe Burrow is going to start. Miles Brennan is going to be his backup. Like that's just what's going to be. I mean, they're hitching their wagon to those two guys, and that's just what it is. Jordan says Miles created the years of bad offense and bad quarterback play. It takes time to fix that. No, it doesn't. It takes one guy to fix that. It takes one guy. And by the way, everybody on the roster right now, you say Burrow, Miles signed, and now Narcisse is gone. So, like, you had numbers. So, anyway, I don't want to go there. That's just Jordan Grace. That's just, like, you can blame Les for not developing quarterbacks, okay? But Ed's now had 2 full recruiting classes. He signed the 2 guys that Les had committed and signed nobody this past year. Like, at some point, you've got to point the finger at the guy who's in the chair. I mean, Kirby Smart went year 1 at Georgia and got a 5-star Jacob Eason. Next year, he got another 5-star in Jake Fromm, and now he's got another 5-star with Fields there. Like, it doesn't matter what Mark Richt did for the previous 15 years. Like, get a guy, get him in there, and start getting production. Sorry. Let's see. Alvin, you're 2 injuries away from playing walk-ons. Yeah, I'll keep reiterating. Like, a lot of people have asked, and I think people probably have forgotten this. Andre Sale, if you remember the story, he's a kid. He played at Tennessee Tech. He's family are LSU folks, and so he transferred this offseason to LSU. He is a walk-on, but he got a waiver to be eligible immediately. So if it comes to that, they have Sale available as an emergency guy. And then Jordan Loving out of Riverside. I'm going to go I interviewed Jordan Loving on AFR. Peekaboo. I interviewed Jordan Loving on AFR whenever he signed with or when he came to LSU as a preferred walk-on. He talked about his desire to play. He could have gone and maybe played a lower level, but he said he wanted to prove he could play at LSU and play major college football. And he's no, don't touch it, baby. He just karate chopped the phone. Hey. That's not funny, baby. You gotta stop doing that, okay? You gotta stop hitting the tripod, okay, sweetheart? That's not funny. All these people are gonna get dizzy. Sorry, y'all. I just can't explain to him. No, baby, stop it. Drew, no, baby, no, stop. He's full grabbing it now. Hey, no, listen. No, you can't touch that, okay? You can't touch that. MC Hammer. Okay, sweetheart, listen, you can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Oh my God. This kid. What time is it? Oh, it's 8:08. All right. Wayne, man, nothing negativity in here. Stand behind this team. If not, move on to another bandwagon team. Wayne, with respect, it's comments like that really annoy me, though, because there's a big difference between, negativity and reality, and what you are is the complete opposite, which is just blind loyalty. And it's not my job to stand behind a team. My job is to give opinions. That's what I get paid to do. And sometimes you're going to like him and sometimes you're not. But that's, I think, one of the reasons why people listen to my show, and it's because I'm not gonna bullshit you. Like, excuse my language, but I'm not. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about things. Good, bad, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, like, history will be the determining factor there, but I'm gonna give you informed opinions, and I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm never just gonna sugarcoat things and say, oh, it's great. Hot boudin, cold couscous, go Tigers, push on, rah rah. I mean, it's just, that's not me. So yeah, sorry if you don't like that. They keep trying to plug leaks at the position instead of building a foundation. I agree. Tammy, what's a good coach? When they beat the brakes off of Miami, the hot seat will get a lot cooler. Dax, they're 3-point underdogs in that game, by the way. And I still have picked LSU to win that game. So let's not get that twisted, okay? But if you think they're going to beat the brakes off Miami, dog, come on, man. Matt, that's why you're Chicken Little. Bob Lee, by the way, it's Y-O-U-R-E. You are Chicken Little. The way you wrote it is that I own Chicken Little. So, straighten up, cat. Chicken Little, Jesus Christ. Fans. It's football season. JUCO, then Auburn. Narcisse fits Malzahn's scheme well. He almost went there to begin with. They go 9-3. Book it. I would say 9-3 is LSU's ceiling this year because they're going to lose to Auburn, Georgia, and Bama. That I would say that's their ceiling, Dax. Joe Oliva has destroyed the LSU football program with his mismanagement. I'd agree with that more than anything. They botched Jimbo in 2015. They botched Herman a year later. Hired Ed, yeah. Joe and King not being aligned, absolutely. That's got as much to do with it as anything. 3-1 after 4 weeks. No one's worrying about Lowell Narcisse that Monday. True, absolutely. If they beat Miami but lose a close game to Auburn, I think most people go into October feeling pretty good. See how they do when they hit that stretch. They'll beat Ole Miss, be 4-1. See how they do with that stretch when they got to play at Florida. Georgia, Mississippi State, off, then Bama. I mean, that's your stretch right there. That defines your season. We don't know yet why Narcisse is not the number 2. Can't learn the playbook. Not a student of the position. Can't blame staff for him leaving until more comes out. Craig, quite honestly, it's just something that was predetermined. I mean, like, they wanted to do a package with Lowell, but they're hitching their wagon to Burrow and Brennan, and I think that's the crux of the issue for a guy like Lowell. He even said it on off the bench today. So, look, I don't want to be a wildcat. I want to play quarterback. And he's got. I'd say Lowell's biggest problem is accuracy, but it's what do you want in your quarterback? What skill set do you want? And Lowell is different from the other 3. You get Brennan 4 games. Let's see. Would Narcisse be starting if Herman had come to LSU? If Herman had come to... I'll go one further. If Tom Herman were at LSU, Lindsey Scott would still be here too. 100%. So the entirety of this conversation changes. Hi! What are you doing? How about that for some levity? Little dude in his jammies. The dude are in his jammies. Don't you hit that phone. Go see Mimi's here. Go see Mimi. Fix the defensive line board. Fix the quarterback board starting this class. Jesus. Is a possibility to get Grant Gunnell? I don't think so. And okay, so think about the Sean Salisbury thing from a week ago. the Sean Salisbury thing, remember, he was working with Grant Gunnell in Houston, and that was in part why they had the individuals associated with a prospect rule, because he was working with Gunnell in part. And so Salisbury came back after Gunnell committed to Arizona State and was like, can I come back? Because essentially, LSU conceded they're not going to get Gunnell, and so they've got Parrish now committed. So the answer shortly is no. LSU losing fourth ring does not factor in this season. Goodness. Why isn't Brendan developed quicker with all this pub coming in? Who knows? I don't know. He's back there.
Which way?
Why isn't Brendan developed quicker? I mean, he's 190 pounds. He's accurate. He's got a strong arm. I know that. Some guys just aren't ready to play as sophomores or as true freshmen, which is okay. I mean, say like, why doesn't he develop quicker? It's some guys it takes them a while to develop. The fact that you're desperate for not you, I'm saying if you're desperate for a true freshman or sophomore that played 4 games to be a dude, it speaks to the state of your quarterback situation. Give a defense ranking prediction. I know you don't know every defense around the country, but general top 5, top 10, top 25. Should be a top 20 defense. But you got to understand, also consider the schedule you're going to play, and you're going to face really good teams. But they should be top 20 for sure. I don't know if you can go. I'll put it to you this way also. 2 things. Number 1, the schedule you play. Number 2, how much your offense can complement the defense. One of the reasons John Chavis's defense at LSU were always so highly rated was because Les Miles was playing ball control. When LSU held the ball for 38, 40 minutes a game, the defense was on the field less. Chavis goes to A&M, and you completely reverse that. Sumlin's offenses were on the field for 20 minutes a game, and the defense was on the field for 40 minutes a game. So obviously, statistically, that's going to skew it. It doesn't. I'm not saying you're definitely better or definitely worse, but my point is that can be skewed sometimes. That's all. Let's see. Losing to does Steven your depth of shot? When was the last time your backup was a 183-pound beanpole? Did such a bang-up job with quarterbacks at Ole Miss. Let's see. LSU quarterback depth, 10 years. The tradition continues. With the talent year in and year out at wide receiver, we should have top quarterbacks begging to be in Baton Rouge. Yeah. Stephen Rivers. Oh, we're just getting to the karate chop. Wow. Yeah, that's when Drew karate chopped this thing. I'm telling you, this is crazy, the number of comments coming through. I'm trying to do my best to keep up. Coach O press conference will be epic this evening. He may snap on a reporter who asks a question he doesn't like, maybe. Chaos makes the show. Thank you, Andrew. That's kind. So that's why you're the best. Your opinions are true. They are. I don't lie. I mean, I'm honest with you. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. Jordan, of course I missed the quarterback sitch talk. No, dude, it's been the whole show, man. It's been the whole thing this morning. You forgot that your whiskey takes and suggestions are off the chart. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. I gotta do some more whiskey reviews. Chicken low. Can I come on your show when they do beat Miami by 2 scores? Dax, you can call whenever you want. I'm not guaranteeing I'll take your call, but you're welcome to. And likewise, if LSU loses that game or does not win by 2 scores, I'm absolutely positive that you're going to just come here and just lay yourself at the mercy and say, man, I was dead wrong, because that happens all the time. I don't understand how Georgia can get 3 5-stars. LSU can't get 1 or 2 4-star players who can take us to the top. Something in that recruiting pitch Kirby's throwing out there. Whitney said, feeling bad for the LSU students and student athletes who will never know what it means to experience winning LSU football. 03 to 07 were the best years of my life. Yeah, I'd say stretch that back to 01, Whitney. I was at LSU then. I was at LSU for Nick's years, basically. My senior year was 03. And it's so true. When you went, you expected LSU to win every game and dominate. It was fun. Matt, someone they aren't supposed to beat gets clipped in the BTR. Georgia or Bama, just saying. Dax, you're impossible this morning, man. Like, God bless you for being positive and, you know, loving your team and all that stuff. But Jesus, like, I don't think your eyes are open to like what's actually happening right now with this program. Like, their offensive line is not good. They don't have any running backs. They don't have a quarterback that's played a meaningful snap. Their leading returning receiver is a tight end. I mean, what are you watching? Their kicker was kicking at a high school field last. Like, what are you seeing that I'm missing very clearly? Like, what are you seeing that Vegas isn't seeing, where they've got LSU penciled in as a 7-win team, and you know, like all these power rankings have LSU as the 7th best team in the West and going to the Texas Bowl. Like, what are you seeing that literally everybody else outside of this purple and gold bubble, like what are you seeing that everyone else is missing? Please enlighten me. Like, I understand like fans are loyal to their team and that's great, but at some point, like, you've got to be realistic about shit too. Like, get real, man. Like, get real with what you're looking at. This is not a championship team. It's not close to a championship team. God, I'm not saying, like, if, let's say, Burrow sort of develops this year, then you go into next year and Burrow's back and these receivers are back and you develop some talent at running back and your line's a little more veteran and you get, you know, everybody who could go pro to come back on defense, although you think you understand Devin White and Greedy are going to go, but if everybody else comes back and if Fulton stays, then, all right, now you can talk about 2019 and go, all right, they got a shot to make some noise. Okay, but, like, this team ain't that, dog. They're like, oh, God, dog. Anyway. If the offense is consistent, I believe LSU could beat Auburn. LSU's not winning at Auburn. Week 3, they're not winning at Auburn. Lauren says, I don't know why people can't understand we can be fans and still be a realist. I'll always love LSU, just don't always agree with some things they do. Thank you. It's the hardest part about my job, right? Like, I went to LSU. I love LSU. Not just the football program, like the university. I mean, met friends for life there, walked the halls, went to classes, provided me my foundation. I still go back and speak at the Mass Comm School all the time when they invite me, classes. I mean, I love LSU. Love LSU. But my job is give honest opinions. And that's what I do. And sometimes you're not going to like it. All right, let's see. Remember O saying he wanted a dual threat quarterback, LOL. Jordan, that was when he thought he was getting Lane Kiffin. And I think I've probably told the story before, but when Ed Orgeron was introduced as LSU's head coach and that whole binder and everything, like, he truly believed Lane Kiffin was coming to Baton Rouge. And he probably was. But then Nick Saban intervened. That didn't happen. And so when O was standing at that podium, he was talking about getting the best offensive coordinator in football, and he was going to get a dual threat quarterback. He was talking about Lane Kiffin and letting Lane run his offense. And ultimately, Lane didn't come, and he didn't about face. All right, let's see. Get a few more. Chris, what's up, Blades? Your prediction of Burrow starting definitely got a boost by 2 quarterbacks quitting. See, the thing is, Blades, a lot of people thought that was just a prediction that was PFA, plucked from the air. Everyone knows it. Like, it's not a prediction. Like, this is something that everyone knows is going to happen. The whole competition has been a charade this whole time. It's sort of been saying, like, Joe Burrow is going to start a quarterback for LSU the day he signed. Like, that was predetermined. He was going to be the starting quarterback at LSU. They were going through this charade of a quarterback competition to try to keep all these guys from transferring, which was so short-sighted because in so doing, you robbed Burrow of opportunity to get first-team reps, and you're still going to lose these quarterbacks. So it's just, like, just be honest and go run your program. Anyway, get to a few more here. I don't even know how long. We've been on a long time. I think we've been on almost an hour now. I think Les was a good coach. He does not get enough respect. I agree with you, Jesse. And I'm not saying maybe it was time to move on from Les. Like, all good things come to an end, and I'm not saying they should have kept him. I hate how they went about firing him. I thought that was just dirty. But it's not. It was how they replaced him. Jody, how's the depth looking at middle linebacker? Without Tyler Taylor, it hurts, but they like the 2 freshmen, Clark and Baskerville, and I think those guys will provide solid depth behind Devin White and Jacob Phillips. I think that they're okay there. Sam, can't wait for Mike D's take on all this tomorrow. I know what Mike D's going to tell you. He's going to say, who's surprised by this? He's going to tell you exactly what I'm saying. Hoont Palmario. Good morning, Hoont. Kirby's coaches and assistants don't bags of money. Cole, I saw that tweet about John Emery. Like, did y'all not all realize that was all, like, fabricated? It was a fake Brett McMurphy account that did that and everything. Anyway. I'm reading some of these comments. Dax, I'm bullish on this team. I can tell, Dax. I can tell you're bullish on this team. And you're going to be insanely disappointed, Kat. God bless you. I'm bullish on this team. When was the last time you weren't bullish on an LSU team? Jesus Christ. Bullish on a team that's picked to go 7-5. Awesome. Way to be way to pick a winner, Dax. Oh, Jesus. Whole lot of relying on defense. Okay, I want to read this one. Jordan says, 4 and 5 stars penciled in. O-line's going to be good, not great. We had 4 potential starting quarterbacks. Now we have 3. We have some of the best position coaches in the game. We'll do better than a bad Les Miles team. Okay, I want you to understand. Literally, the worst Les Miles team went 8-5. Okay, that was literally the bottoming out was 8-5 in 2008 when you had a Harvard transfer and a true freshman playing or redshirt freshman Jarrett Lee playing quarterback who kept it on the ball to the other team. I'll take point by point. You said the O-line is going to be good. That was literally the weakness of this scrimmage this past weekend. Like, literally the worst part of the scrimmage was the offensive line. And you say, well, LSU's defensive line's really good. Yeah, and so is Georgia's and Mississippi State's and Alabama's and Florida's. Like, and Miami's. Like, you don't get a break. So your offensive line is not good right now. 4 potential starting quarterbacks. Now we have 3. You had none coming out of spring, which is why you had to go get Joe Burrow, who you hope has never taken a snap, can be a competent or really good starting quarterback. So you didn't have 4. You had 0, and you still aren't sure if you have any right now. We have some of the best position coaches in the game. You honestly think the running backs coach is going to make a shit lick of difference when you're playing Alabama in November? I don't get some of y'all, bro. I just don't get some of y'all. All right, I want to talk about this. Sam said, I think we're a victim of the times. It's a nice thought, but even if we land 3 5-star quarterbacks, we're going to lose 2 of them. That seems to be the new way. That's true. Okay, even look at Georgia, as we talked about him, right? So they had Jacob Eason. They signed Jake Fromm. Now they got Fields. Eason left. Eason lost his job. He left. He's sitting out at Washington. He'll be their starter next year when Jake Browning leaves. So that's absolutely true. Like, quarterbacks will leave. No doubt. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not even blaming Lowell for leaving. That's not the point. The point is, that's why, in part, because of that culture, is why you can never skip a class signing a quarterback. You've got to sign one in every class because attrition is going to happen. And so now, because Lindsey Scott left, and now that Lowell has left, it's essentially like you went 2 classes without signing a quarterback. 2 of the last 3 years. Like, you've got to sign one every single year. And they didn't this past year, and it's put them in a bind. The other part of it is naively thinking you're going to be able to keep both of those guys by having this competition has put you in a spot now where you're still going to be thin on numbers, and you haven't gotten the guy who's going to be your guy that everybody knows is going to be your guy starters reps all along. That's the problem. Yeah, we are coming up on an hour. Maybe we've been in an hour. I don't know. Hopefully we can shock the world. LSU performs better when they're the underdogs. Bobby, LSU hasn't been an underdog in more than a decade, man. Just as a program, LSU hasn't been an underdog since 2000. Maybe parts of 2001. I don't know. You can say LSU's better when they're underdogs, man. That's not what this program has been for 15 years, but it feels like it. Bobby Auden says, I can listen to this all day. Your insight is on point as always. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm just swimming in crap today. Brian says, I'm just more upset knowing the outcome, given these guys first team reps, first knowing Joe was your guy. He needed all the reps he could have gotten. I agree. Scone uncensored. Sometimes, Laramie, sometimes. It's the beauty of the internet. The binder of 1,000 truths will save us. All right, this is going off the rails. Probably about to wrap this up. If this team doesn't hit 6 wins, gotta go, period. Andrew Brister, best position coaches, dude. Drugs are bad. That's funny. Let's see. Brent says a top 5 defense can save a mediocre offense, but that's not our case. It's a toss up. I'd point to 2009 when they had a good defense, but the offense was that was the year after the interception year with Jarrett Lee and everything. And remember they played the game against Florida in Baton Rouge where LSU lost like 13-3 or something like that. And it was just like you knew that offense was never going to score enough because they were going to run the ball and control the clock, and they just weren't going to beat themselves offensively like they had done the year before. That's just not a recipe to be great. Can you beat Ole Miss and Arkansas and maybe win at Florida or beat Mississippi State? Yeah, you can. But you're not going to beat Miami or Georgia or Auburn or Bama with any of that. Y'all got Matt cussing today. Matthew Shelley, I'm at work and this is gold. Good. I appreciate everybody watching. At one point, I think we were up at like 133 viewers. That was like the most I saw up there. So, good time so far. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Charlie said, please reiterate O isn't going until Oliva does, and his buyout is stupid. For the record, O's buyout drops exponentially at the completion of each year, so it becomes more manageable. And to be very clear, there is a difference between having money and having money you're willing to spend. LSU has money. I just don't know if they're willing to spend it on another buyout. That's really the issue. Brent Burgess, Ohio native friend, says this. It was a toss-up at quarterback for Ohio State. Either could start for us. They just had to make a decision which way to go. I would have kept Burrows. Quote, Burrow. But anyway, that tells you right there is if he learns the offense, we can perform better. That tells because your friend who lives in Ohio thinks it was a toss-up. Like that tells you right there. Because your buddy, the Ohio State fan, thinks it was a toss-up. Look, man, I hope Burrow's great. I do. I mean, I'm sick of watching crappy quarterback play. I've been watching it for too long now. I hope he's great. But, like, the assumption that all of a sudden, because you got this transfer, it's going to be sunshine and roses. There's a reason he didn't win the job, man. He's never taken a meaningful snap. Come on. All right, we're about to wrap this up. I'm going to go work out. I guess this is going to be the whole show today. Craig Dugas, did you say 09 was one of our best teams ever? Are you out of your brain? That was the team that lost to Penn State in the bowl game. That's the team that got almost shut out by Florida. Come on, dog. What are you talking about? 09 was one of our best teams ever. They lost at Bama? Come on, dude. They need a miracle to beat Arkansas in those ugly throwback uniforms. Stephen Miller, if when McMillan leaves, you think he goes Power 5 or Group of 5? That's a good question, man. I don't know. My thought would be he does what Anthony Jennings does and picks a ULL place like that where he can go and play immediately. Probably a Group of 5 school where he can play immediately. Joey Painage. Can someone tell Matt this receiver group is going to be elite so we can watch him explode? Oh, shit. They haven't even kicked off the first game yet. I still don't think we are in as bad as quarterback spot as we were in 08. That was a brutal start with a slapstick comedy defense to boot. The schedule, though. You know what's funny about 08? Like, people forget this. So, I mean, of course, Perilou got booted, and then Hatch started that season. They opened up that season against Appalachian State at home at 10 a.m. Remember, that's when Gustav was coming, and they had to move the game until 10 a.m. Hatch got hurt against Auburn, and Jarrett Lee came off the bench and led LSU to a comeback road win against Auburn. He threw a touchdown to Brandon LaFell with like a minute left to win that game on the road. And it was the first time LSU had won at Auburn since the barn burning game, which would have been 96. It was the first time LSU won at Auburn since like 96. And so this was 08. And so people were all excited about it. There was actually a column. It was either SI or ESPN. I need to go find it now. It was after that game, like the week after the game, it was about how LSU had found its next great quarterback in Jarrett Lee. They got up to number 3 in the country. I remember they got up to number 3 in the country and played at Florida. It was a night game at Florida in 08, and that's Florida scored on like the first or second play of the game. I think they went deep to Percy Harvin. Just do a bomb, like an 80-yard bomb, and just like that, LSU was down, and then they gave up 50 in the swamp that day. Anyway, it's just funny. And then Jefferson, remember Jordan Jefferson came in at the end of that season, and he was the MVP of the bowl game against Georgia Tech, and everyone's like, "Hey, I found a quarterback." We're past an hour. I guess we are past an hour now. We still have $6 million to less, $550,000 in Canada, plus former France buy. And Johnny Jones, don't forget that, yo. Maybe time to open one. They're all open, dog. All right, we're about to wrap this up. No, Brent, I know what you're saying about the quarterback. What I'm telling you is you don't know, and your friend in Ohio doesn't know that LSU has a better quarterback. you got a guy that you hope is good, but a guy that hasn't taken a meaningful snap in his life. And the fact that he was in a competition with Dwayne Haskins for the job doesn't tell you a damn thing. The guy hadn't taken a meaningful snap. Let me see what he does in a game. I mean, Jeremy Johnson was supposed to be a dude at Auburn. Hell, I was on that train. I saw him play backup snaps and be really good. He was like preseason All-SEC at Media Days a couple of years back. He shit the bed. Remember Jeremy Johnson from Auburn? I mean, come on, man. My point is, like, you just never know. Everybody was hyped about Brandon Harris. Brandon Harris was going to be the dude. Got that out there as a freshman, scored a bunch of points against Mississippi State, New Mexico State. He goes and starts at Auburn. He pees down his leg. You know? I mean, come on, man. You never know until you see that guy get out there. So, like taking an assumption as fact is just short-sighted, and, man, it sets you up for disappointment. Talking about the basketball team might help this morning. All right, I've made it through all of your comments. Thank you for watching, those of you that have been watching this whole time. Now, because you've all watched this whole time, I've talked for more than an hour, you owe me. Go buy Boudreaux's. The Bloody Mary mix and the Margarita mix. They've sponsored more than Scone, and this is one that ever. And wait until we do the episode after McMillan transfers. I mean, if this is the fallout from Narcisse, the fourth string guy transfer, wait until the third string guy transfers. All right, y'all, go buy Boudreaux's. Just go there. Go there right now. Go to Alexander's. Go to Calvin's or Calandra. Just go. Whatever's on the shelf, just buy it. Just buy it all. It's Boudreaux's. We'll see you. See you later. Listen to AFR today, please. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.